We've reported on the show previously that recently South Korea is among this long list of countries whose financial watchdogs have issued warnings to Binance saying you are not permitted in our jurisdiction. You do not have the right licenses to operate. And so they have just announced that they will discontinue trading pairs and payment options that use the South Korean won effective immediately. They're also including a discontinuation of P2P merchant applications and Korean language support. So they're really shutting down there. It's very interesting to see this Binance story play out, considering that they really haven't had a jurisdiction. It was just like, we're a thing that's not really based anywhere and anyone in the world can, access us. And then now governments are coming down hard and saying, no, the people here are not allowed. We are putting up a wall that says you cannot access these global tools out there, which is sad for the people in those countries. Obviously, the governments say that it's for the protection of those people. We can debate that all day long. But I want to throw this to the group. Jen, I saw your hand go up. What are your thoughts about the future of Binance, the future of regulation around crypto in general?
Well, first, I just want clarity on something. I thought I read that they weren't asked to leave. They are choosing to pull out of South Korea. So I think that the South Korea, choosing to pull out. So South Korea has asked exchanges to register with regulators by, I think, September 24th. They are choosing to leave. I think over the past month or so, it's like a downward roller coaster for Binance. I don't know what's going to happen next. I wonder what their strategy is behind the scenes. We have yet to see that new CEO be put into place with more of a legal or regulatory background. And so I would just love to be a fly on the wall in their strategy meetings. I have no idea what's going to happen next. David, I see you nodding and shaking your head. So I don't know what's going on there. What are your thoughts on
down into
what's
the left on
next?
this one? I'm the only strategy that I can see is they're trying to minimize the number of people who wind up going to jail. They seem to be just really retreating so quickly on so many fronts, and I don't see how they consolidate and then get back to where they would like to be. Maybe they'll have some regulatory pathways in the countries that they're pulling out of. And I guess maybe that really is the thing. They're going to pull out and then go back once there's some clarity. But I mostly think that they're panicking because there's so much regulatory scrutiny coming down, and they've seen what happened to the BitMEX executive team, for example, and they're trying to avoid that fate. Naomi, I saw you.
And just on Jen's point, the regulatory landscape in South Korea is really, really muddy. It's actually not quite clear what's legal and what's not, so it makes sense that they're pulling out. And on top of that, it doesn't seem that it's worth the risk. So last year, they actually announced that they were going to, in the future, be closing the South Korean affiliate because of low usage, low volume. And so now it seems like, well, now we've got regulatory scrutiny. Let's shut this entire thing down. So it makes sense that they're doing that. And, in terms of consolidating around, I think we're running out of time, and that's a whole nother point. So Zach, I'm just going to throw it to you.
Oh, I wanted to hear the other point.
Just tell us.
What was it?
Well, it's the idea that, Binance, the idea that they're retreating and they're very scared and maybe everyone's going to go to jail. I don't quite buy that scenario, although we have seen what happened with BitMEX, right? But I do see a scenario where they are going to be setting up licensed affiliates everywhere in specific jurisdictions, but you probably will have this kind of ephemeral Binance umbrella company that doesn't have that specific jurisdiction that probably will still be available. And let's be honest, as long as VPNs exist, will probably still be used. And governments are going to have a real hard time cracking down on that. And maybe they can go after the CEOs and all of this. That may be the play that's on the cards. I hope not. But it's just getting harder and harder for governments to put this walled garden around their jurisdiction when it comes to usage on the internet.
All right. Well, I think my hot take was that Shapeshift is the bellwether. Everyone's just going to decentralize to these DeFi chains to stay one step ahead of the crypto cops. And then in 4 years' time, there'll be new frameworks to crack down on that move. That's my bet. Right. I'm sticking to it.